Hi there, I'll go through today cutting back boxes and channels for cabling, recessing it into the wall and recessing the back boxes so you can have flush plug sockets. This is one way, it's the way I've used this time. There's many different ways of doing this, but because I had to cut out the channels anyway, the way I've started this is with a grinder and a diamond blade. They don't cost much actually. Now I also got this vacuum housing so that I could rig it up to the vacuum cleaner. It doesn't get all the dust out, but a grinder creates an enormous amount of dust, and having that just limited it to a relatively small amount of dust. I could just open a window and then let some air pass through to clear that quite quickly. So what I have done around the room already is just run up. First of all, I drew where I wanted the boxes. So the way I did that, I worked out where I wanted the height. I wanted 300 high, so I measured a couple of points there, got a level, and just marked that across. I knew the size of the width of the height of the sockets, the actual fascia plates. So I just marked the height against those, drew another line, and then worked out that I wanted the distance from the wall 10 centimeters. So from that point I just measured the socket, another 10, double check that, yeah, 10, and then 5 between it was, and then the other socket, and then I've just crossed over to find the center, taken the back box, and then just drawn around that so I know where I was cutting the actual back box out. And so from there with the back boxes themselves, so you can see the center point is easy to do with the center hole. With the back boxes themselves, you can see you have the cutouts. So from there I've just aligned there and worked out where that's going to come through for the cables. So I can then mark that. I know with this how deep I want it, and I can use that as a template to check. So I didn't grind out the entire thing because actually it's quite easy then with a bolster and hammer just to work your way up, knocking those out, and then to do these with a hammer drill. In my case I'm using this hammer drill. I find it just a bit more powerful for the job I'm doing. I've also got a fatter piece where I can just get back there quite quickly. Using the 35mm boxes for the most part. I just find having the extra depth a little bit easier for some of the wiring, but also it allows me later if I want to put in some smart devices in the sockets and things like that. So that's the basics. So grinding is obviously all done. I've done actually the chasing back on all of the other parts, so I'm just going to go through this one. Now, as before, you'll want your earmuffs, and even though this is not like the grinding, I still wear this because it still kicks up a bit of dust into the air. So you can see that that's fairly easy. Have a little bit of extra work at the top to do, and I'll come back to doing those in a little bit. Okay, so we've done our channel, so we'll be able to run the trunking down there. That's the right depth because I measured it on the angle grinder before I worked, so I can see that I just need to run to the point where, and I also used the template to run up to double check and just chisel out any bits that were sticking out. So now we've just got our back boxes and the connector. Okay, so And that's all there is to it. I have forgotten one thing, so I'll be taking that one out briefly in a moment, but I'll just show you on this one. So on this one I'm going to be punching the hole there and there, so just give them a whack with something, and careful not to put your fingers on the end in case the metal's a bit ragged, and just until they come off, and that's all there is to it.